Smyrna, audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with your hosts, Rick and Wayne. Come to you every Tuesday morning here at WGNS Studios and try to cover things on the north end of the county. And we got a great show on tap for you today. And Wayne, are you dried out, buddy? I know you went to the MTSU game.
Yeah, fine. My tennis shoes are still drying. I think I OD'd on football this weekend, but I hate it for Coach Mason. He's worked so hard to get people in that stadium, and then to have the torrential rain and the lightning and the wind, and we tried to hang in there, but we were just sopping wet. And we were there at 5 o'clock, and the game didn't start till 8:40, and we just had to listen to it in the car. So, but pleased that the Raiders pulled it out. Coach Mason had a successful first game, so we're good to go. Middle, I'm hopeful. They're going to run into a buzzsaw at Ole Miss, but the thing that gives me some optimism about being competitive is that Coach Mason has coached against SEC talent for 7 years.
That's right.
So he has a clue.
He had a couple wins against Tennessee, so he knew something of what he was doing.
Yeah. So, just high school ball and collegiate games, and witnessed that funeral for the Seminoles last night.
Oh yeah,
and that was tough. And of course the Titans, I guess, this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Chicago.
So
yep.
So good to go.
Well, we went to Cedars Lebanon, went camping, so I listened to football a whole lot, and then we used our.
That's a sweet setup you got, by the way.
Yeah, we were able to. I've got I call it my big screen, but I got a projector. I put it all over the side of it, so we were.
How
had
many
it set
projectors?
Up. It's just one, but I can do a 16-foot screen on it, so it makes it pretty darn nice. Everybody in the campgrounds won't come hang out with us, so it's pretty nice. But I say that Nissan effect. I live behind Nissan on the river, and when storms come through, it never hits us. And I think the heat off Nissan messes with storms, and we never get hit. Mm-hmm. Cedars Lebanon has the same thing, or it's just me. Watertown got hammered behind us, but we never got any rain at Cedars Lebanon. It rained all the way around us, but
wow.
I had a few sprinkles, but it sounded a good light show and thunder, but not a drop.
It's like it moved over the stadium, and we saw it coming.
Yeah.
And once it got there, it wasn't a rain train, I don't believe. I think it just got there and
blossomed.
Just sat down and have at it. So, but glad you had a good time. We did as well, and it was a great weekend.
Well, if anybody wants to give me some free money and be a millionaire, I'd love to RV full time. I'm
oh wow,
big proponent of that.
Yeah, Brother Rick, we have a great friend with us this morning. I've known Carolyn Peebles. I don't know how many years, but
many.
Many. Of course. I knew and went to school with her husband, the late Larry Peebles, back in the late 60s and early 70s. And we'll talk about Larry and Steve and Frankie a little later on as well, and hopefully in this first segment. But Carolyn, you are our president-elect, vice president for Rotary.
Yes.
You have been a community leader for as long as I've known you, and we're just, not only did we have you to come to talk about our 22nd annual Smyrna Rotary Fish Fry, but talk about yourself and family and basically the town of Smyrna that you've influenced over the years.
Oh, you're right. I think I've been in Smyrna. I say I've been in Smyrna all my life. I actually was born and raised in Murfreesboro. But when I married Larry and moved to Smyrna, I've actually lived in Smyrna longer than I've lived in Murfreesboro.
Well, there
So
you
I
go.
call myself a Smyrnanite.
Sure, sure.
When they ask me where do I live or where I'm from, I say, well, I was born and raised in Murfreesboro, but I actually am from Smyrna.
Well, you're still a Rutherford County girl, too.
That's
So
right. Exactly.
I don't know that if I ask anybody in Smyrna, they would say that you've been there all your life.
All my life.
So,
Yes, I love Smyrna. Yes.
talk about your early time here in Murfreesboro, and talk about family. This first segment we like for the audience to get to know you.
Well, I was born and raised, like I said, in Murfreesboro, graduated from Holloway High School, and at that time it was a high school. It was an African American high school in Murfreesboro. And my senior year, we had an opportunity to either stay or go. That's when they integrated. That's how
What year
old
was
I
that?
am. That was 1966, I believe.
Okay.
And I chose to stay at Holloway because I was a senior and I was a captain of the cheering squad. I wanted to maintain my position.
I would have put money on that.
I would have too.
But loved it. Love living in Murfreesboro. And I married when I married Larry, I moved to Smyrna, and we raised our children in Smyrna. So, but I actually graduated from Middle Tennessee State University.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Amen.
And I can say, actually Erica, Jalen, my oldest grandchild, also graduated from Middle Tennessee State University. So we have 3 generations.
That is
Of-
cool.
Erica, class of '89, Smyrna High School.
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
he would throw that in, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's quite the competition.
Yeah,
with us.
yeah. My work background, I worked for General Electric for about 10 years. And I then went to work for, now General Electric was after some other things before I went there. But I left General Electric and went to work for Nissan, actually.
Did not know that.
Yes, I worked at Nissan. I was worked there for 17 years, and I was one of the first African American women to work on the assembly line in the plant that I went from the U.S. And it was so funny that I'm having memories of that because they had not had women to work on the assembly line or actually in the plant. They actually had to build a bathroom for me. Because the only bathrooms in the plant were for the men.
Sure.
And they didn't have doors. So
Oh.
they had to close all the doors and make a
wow.
bathroom for me. But I worked at Nissan for 17 years and I left Nissan. I didn't retire. I went to work for my church full time.
So, what in the manufacturing process?
Mm-hmm.
What did you actually do?
Well, I started out as a production supervisor on trim and chassis. And I went to actually Japan twice with my group.
Oh goodness.
Again, I was the only woman in my group. I went with 11 men, but they were very protective. So I had a good time in Japan training on the production line. And after I left Nissan and went to work for my church full time. While I was at Nissan, I worked as a production supervisor in trim and chassis. And then I got moved around in those early years. I went to work for in material handling. I worked on the receiving dock.
Wow.
You know where they receive material?
Did you get to run a tow motor?
I had to learn how to operate a forklift.
Oh, okay.
So, and the dock that I actually supervised they called it Dock 3, and it was the biggest dock at Nissan on trim and chassis. And it was so funny because when the truck drivers would come in, they would ask, "Where's the supervisor?" And I said, "You're looking at her." So it
Little
was.
male chauvinism
Oh,
there.
but I handle myself. But it
No
was
doubt.
it was a lot of fun. I also worked in engineering. And I worked I was sent to HR when we two shifted. So to hire. So I hired for 2 years. My assignment was to make sure that we had African American people that got hired
Sure.
to work. So that was kind of my assignment. And then when we started Deckard, I was supposed to go on loan for 6 weeks to help them start up, to help the night shift. I was the area manager for material handling. I did all of the receiving for the plant. I supervised that. And I was supposed to go for 6 weeks, and it turned out to be 6 months. And my supervisor said, she's been there long enough. It's time for her to come home. So I did that. And then when I returned to Smyrna, I worked a few more years. And then I decided that I would transition out of Nissan, and I went to work for my church full time.
Talk about your church employment then.
Yes, I went to work for my church full time, Living Truth Christian Center, as the operations manager, the day-to-day operations manager. And we don't think about church being a business very much, but we had church employees. We also had a full-time daycare, which I supervised the daycare. I didn't know anything about supervising a daycare, but I learned real quick about how to handle that. So I did that at my church. So I did like I said, I was over the entire staff. We had quite a few. We had 2 or 3 in the office full-time. We had part-time employees, and we also had, as I said, we had a daycare that was started. It was the first African-American daycare in Rutherford. Church daycare in Rutherford County.
That.
And then we also, Apostle Amos L. Howard Sr. also had a vision for community service, and he started Alert CDC, which is a 501c3 organization. And we started the Back to School Bash many years ago. And we did that all the way up to 2020. And we ended up with the drive-through. But before that, it was a huge event.
Yeah.
You may have attended.
I did. COVID has just ruined so many programs, but it enhanced other areas.
Yes. But I actually left the church. I transitioned home to retirement, I think, after about 10 years, and I decided that the business that I had started, which is called About My Father's Business, that I was just going to retire, I thought, and go home and work my business. And I ended up, the church was one of my clients, and I picked up 2 or 3 other clients. And by that time, I was immersed in Rotary as well. And then the fish fry, I started working with Mike Waller. And Mike was our fish fry chairman for long before I can remember. And I worked alongside him. I had the opportunity to work with him
and
be his hands and feet. And I got trained by the best.
Yes, you did. Talk about My Father's Business.
About My Father's Business is my company, and it was started, if you remember the scripture, where Jesus was lost, and his father and mother was looking for him. And he told them, he said, "Why do you seek after me? I'm about my Father's business."
Right.
So that's how the name came up.
That's cool. Because he was at the synagogue.
Yes.
Basically as a child teaching other synagogue leaders.
Yes. So what I do as About My Father's Business, I do accounting and business services. I do corporate event planning. I don't do weddings. I actually do travel as well, which is I do foyer travel. That's FOYA, foyer travel. That means focusing on your adventures, FOYA. So I started that. So I was kind of dipping and dabbing in that. So those are the things that I do with About My Father's Business.
Larry Peebles, your late husband, was just a fine
over
gentleman.
30 years.
Yeah, just and I remember back in school, Larry and Steve Lewis and Frankie Jenkins, they were inseparable, very talented basketball players, each in their own right. And
it's funny that you mentioned Steve and Frankie, because that brings back to my remembrance when I had to go to Japan for 12 weeks. My children were babies. And so my Larry was working night shift, and Frankie, actually, who took care of my children for those 12 weeks, was Frankie, Larry, Steve, and Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Smith?
Yes, Aaron Smith. And I left my babies.
Player.
I left my babies with 4 men.
Yeah. Well, all 4 of them just amazing people.
Yes.
Of course, I looked up on Google the movie, The Three Amigos, with Steve Martin, which was in '86. But I could swear that we called Larry and Steve and Frankie the Three Amigos back in the 70s or late 60s, because if you saw one, you pretty much saw all 3, and they were just great guys.
Yeah. What amazed me is that I had girls. They actually did their hair. Now, you know, that's something for a man to do, a little girl's hair, because it's not one of those you can take the brush and go.
I'm with Riley. She's 6, and she didn't like the way I brush her hair, so I'll get her to brush, and then she puts in a hairband or something.
Yeah.
That's as good as I can get. So.
Well, they were amazing.
Yeah. You need Rick needs to tell the story about his bribery with the coffee.
Oh, my granddaughter,
Yeah.
Starbucks gift cards to the daycare attendants. Yeah, you can get your hair done for your granddaughter. So she looked good.
I think they all enjoy those gift cards.
Well, these mittens I have are not made for
My
women's hair.
I didn't have a clue. But they were just, like I said, they were just great guys.
Yeah.
And and I knew Larry, up till the day he passed, and just had such respect for him, and you as well, because I knew that he would not have picked his life partner. You had to be somebody special, because Larry was
he
special.
instilled in me the love of sports and my children. To this day, I'm an avid football fan. Of course, being a cheerleader didn't hurt.
No.
But an avid football fan, and of course the children as well. You know, Erica played softball. I mean, she played travel ball. She played it all the way. And Brian, I call him Pick. He don't like me to call him that, but that's his nickname. His grandmother gave him. But he was an avid. He played basketball, and he played baseball. Didn't play much football. He didn't like getting hit, so he kind of let that go. And then, of course, Alexia, my daughter, who passed away a year ago, she was an avid sports person too. She played softball. And then, of course, Grayson, the love of my life, he's coming along. He's baseball. His mama never wanted him to play football. She didn't want him to get hit.
I understand. I understand. Tell Rick and I what drew you to Rotary.
What drew me to Rotary?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, to be honest, how I got involved, in Rotary, I didn't really know much about Rotary. I heard of Rotary, and I knew that Apostle Howard, he actually belonged to Rotary.
He did.
When I worked for the church, because every Thursday I would have to scoot him out of the office and say, "You need to go to your Rotary meeting. You need to go to your Rotary meeting." And pretty much all I did was pay his membership and send him out on Thursdays. So, but around the time when I ran my first race for town council, I was told that I needed to join Rotary, that it was something that would immerse me with and get me involved and get to know more of our professional people in Smyrna. So I did what they told me, and I joined Rotary. I went to talk to Jenny Williams, my Rotary buddy, about it, and she said, "Yeah, I'll sponsor you." So Jenny actually was my sponsor in Rotary, and Jenny and I had been involved in so many organizations prior to Rotary.
Sure.
American Businesswomen Association, Friends of Smyrna Library, you name it, we did it. And every time Jenny would take me to an organization, she'd scoot me right on to something to do, and then she'd scoot on out. So when we joined Rotary, I missed they had a fish fry meeting, and Jenny told them that she would take the honorees, and so and then she said, Carolyn and I will do the honorees. Well, Jenny scooted out and left me. She said, you got it, you could do it. So I ended up, I think my first year in Rotary, I joined in 2010. I think it was December. That was not a fish fry that year. So when it rolled around in 2011, the first year I just went and I served. I remember serving alongside Mike Sparks. I took my turn and served. And then the next year is when with Jenny volunteering me, we did the honorees. So that was what really got me immersed. And I loved honoring the veterans. It was my hot button. It was a thing that really immersed me in Rotary. And I forgot all about why I really joined Rotary. I may have joined for one reason, but I do believe that God had something else in store for me.
Amen.
So I did that the first year. And then the second year, I ended up doing the VIP reception for our major sponsors. So I had the VIP reception, and then I had the honorees. And then I started working closer with Mike Waller. And I saw his passion for the fish fry itself. And so it kind of connected to my passion for veterans and our club. And so I worked alongside Mike for many years as his hands and feet. Sure. And because I have the gift of administration and I was an event planner, it was a natural fit for the two of us.
And we're going to talk about that a lot more here because Rick's going to take us to a break.
Yeah, we're going to
go take a break.
It'll be a short one. We'll be right back.
Okay,
right.
Thanks.
Everybody, hope you enjoyed so far. We're going to get more about Wings of Freedom Fish Fry and maybe even a little bit of history of it because I think we're on our 21st year.
22nd.
22nd. I knew it was getting close. But take our first break and be right back with you in just a minute.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
One thing that summer brings is weddings and then anniversaries to celebrate. Come visit us at Bell Jewelers to celebrate those special moments. If you're stumped and don't know what to get your loved one for their anniversary, come visit us at Bell Jewelers and let any of our associates help you with ideas. So it's kind of a cool way to commemorate those amazing years that you've spent together. Come see us at Bell Jewelers, 821 Northwest Broad Street, across from Toots.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
I've got pets.
Here's Tom Sweat with AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
AmeriCare's moisture control services include mold testing, mold remediation, crawl space repair, vapor barrier, sump pump installation, radon testing, radon mitigation, and basement waterproofing. If there's something wrong in your crawl space or basement, we can probably help. Just ask for a free inspection.
893-7111.
All the best of the best to get rid of your pets.
AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
You've depended on WGNS to learn about what's happening here at home for the past 77 years. Why don't you learn about local history? Come on over to the one-room Ransom Schoolhouse this Saturday from 9 in the morning until noon. Yes, members from the Rutherford County Historical Society will be there. They'll be sharing stories about local history. That's Saturday morning, 9 until noon at Ransom School. Live in the borough, benefiting Greenhouse Ministries. That's next Tuesday at MTSU. This is a dinner and live talent show. The tickets are only $50, and that includes dinner. Buy them online at greenhousemin.org. Uncle Dave Macon Day's Roots Rendezvous Music Festival is this Friday and Saturday at Hop Springs. Don't throw away Old Glory. Bring your tattered American flag to WGNS and let the girls from BSA Troop 2019 at Trinity United Methodist Church retire it with dignity. Plus, we also recycle Bibles. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see a few spotty rain showers at times here this afternoon. Partial sunshine develops, a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy and a low near 66. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 70.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE Sharing Change is funded by members who round up their electric bills to the nearest dollar each month as a donation and support hundreds of local nonprofits. Find out more at sharingchange.org.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
And welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's our pleasure this morning to have fellow Rotarian and President-elect / Vice President of the Smyrna Rotary Club, Miss Carolyn Peoples. And
yes.
we've had a great time talking about some of our past that
yes.
connected with your husband and your late husband. And I think we're going to talk about what, of course, this is the first show Rick and I have been on for 2.5 years, and I think this is the first show that I haven't worn an MTSU shirt.
Oh, wow.
So we're all three in red this morning promoting.
Maybe we'll be the three amigos.
There you go. That works. And but we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of the 22nd annual Wings of Freedom Fish Fry, sponsored by the Smyrna Rotary Club.
Yes. So do I need to talk
Have
about
at
it? Okay, so on September the 21st, which is just a few weeks away, we're having our 22nd annual Wings of Freedom Fish Fry.
And remind everybody it's a week later because of what's going on with the Titan Stadium and the Grand Prix and stuff.
It's a week later than we normally have it. It's been historically the second Saturday in September. And this year, each year when we have our fish fry, we always honor a group of veterans or sometimes another group that's in our community. Historically, we've honored World War II veterans. When I became involved with the honoree program, I had the opportunity to honor Vietnam veterans, Desert Storm veterans, and I believe our Vietnam veterans was the largest group of honorees that we've had, at least since I've been involved in the last 12 years. That particular year, Wayne, we had over 100 Vietnam veterans that we honored that year.
Oh, goodness. I did not recall that, but Rick and I are over there slaving over
You were too busy cooking fish for all those people.
That's when they go to yelling at you. You need more fish.
More fish, more
fish. They don't tell us why.
Yes. And this year, we're going to honor the K-9 officers. We choose as a group each year who we want to honor, and then usually the president gets the stamp of approval or the final say on who that person is or who that group is going to be.
And prior to being a detective, Rick was a K-9 officer.
Were you?
I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not.
I'm partner justice. Yeah.
Well, that means we're honoring you this year because it's about whether you're current or past
or present,
and you're in the Rutherford County area. So
you may have
kudos.
You may have to leave the fryer for a little while.
As long as I wear my hat, we're good.
Yes. So did you get registered? Not yet.
I'm not aware of it.
Yes, but you need to.
I'll check on
while
that.
we're talking
Judy
about
and I
that.
had a conversation about it, so maybe that got me registered.
Yes.
Well,
That
make
didn't get you
sure.
registered, but we do need to get you registered so we can honor you for what you've done as a canine officer.
Amen.
That was
So
a small part. My dog did it all.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
It was a good
of
one.
course, you had a long career and
Yes.
retired as a detective, and
Right.
just I not to get off track, but I keep asking him, please write a book, because he has some amazing stories, if you will, to share.
yes.
So,
Well, you
Had a good
should.
time.
yeah,
You
it
should.
so I'm sorry. Hope I didn't break you off train of
Oh
thought.
no, I could talk about the fish fry all day. But one other segment I do want to talk about the fish fry is that we can't do it without our sponsors.
Right.
And the partnerships that we have with the organizations and people in our community. And we have different levels of sponsorship. We have a group of people that we call our legacy sponsors. And those are individuals or businesses that have been a sponsor since day one. And we make sure that we mention during our fish fry, we honor our legacy sponsors. And we have titanium sponsors, and those are sponsors that give $10,000 or more, either cash or in kind or a combination of both. And we have platinum sponsors who give $5,000 or more. We have our gold sponsors that give $2,500 or more. Our silver sponsors, $1,000 or more. Bronze sponsors, $500 or more. And of course, if we have people that attend that actually just come and celebrate with us and buy a ticket.
Sure.
Tickets are $50 for adults, and for children 12 to 16 is $25, and if you're under 12, it's free. Our event is a fundraiser,
Right.
fish fry.
Right.
And although it's not for kids, it's kid friendly. And we do have several children that come with their parents. Of course, my little prince, he's only 9, but he looks forward to the fish fry every year.
Well, and there's static displays of aircraft.
Yes.
I know you'll get into the cruise in, and
Yes.
it's just like I said, it's a
Planes.
fundraiser. But
Yeah.
if you all you care to eat
And drink.
and drink, and there's
Yeah.
adult beverages as well.
Yes.
And just there's so much to do, and it's with the town of Smyrna, it's like a huge family or community reunion.
Yes.
I see people there
Yes.
that I only see once a year,
Right.
and they come up to the fish fry trailer where Rick and I are cooking and say hi and talk, and it's just a great time to.
It is a party.
It is.
And we look forward to it as Rotarians.
Sure.
We call it the party of the year. We work all year for that one day, and it's not just about the party, but it's about our opportunity to raise money where we know that we're going to have an opportunity to have an impact on our community to make it a better place in which to live.
And thank you, because you've been integral for so long now.
And I love the fish fry. And the thing about it, Wayne and Rick, is that it's hard to explain what the fish fry is. You just have to come and experience it. And once you experience it, you will always come back.
Sure.
I have people to say, I've had some people this year to say, because we had to move the date, it conflicted with some things, and they are just so upset that they're not going to get to attend this year.
Right.
But the fish fry is a signature event for not only us, but for the community.
Yeah, and I don't know as far as the attendance, but over the last several years, except for maybe the COVID year, our guests have numbered well over 2,000.
Oh, yes.
And Rick and I'll look out from the trailer and see that line on the tarmac and go, kick it in gear, boys.
It always depends on the weather.
Sure.
Last year we were fortunate enough that we had good weather, Wasn't too hot. It was just right.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we had a record number of cars cruise in. You know, they only bring their cars out when the weather is good. And Jerome and Mike Woods do a great job getting the word out and getting the cars in. We had lots of planes. Last year was the first time in a long time that we had a DJ versus a live band. And we had to tell them to shut it down because people were still partying like it was 1999 at 9.
Yes.
And we were saying, oh, we got to go. We've had fun, but we got to go. So there are so many different elements of the fish fry. You know, from the time you walk in the door, I'll kind of walk you through what happens. You come in the door, you get your ticket, or you give your ticket. If you are an adult and you want to drink, you go get your little wristband so that you can have adult beverages. And you can also go to, before we actually serve dinner, you can go to the bait shack.
I was going to ask you to talk about the bait shack.
Yes, the bait shack is a place where we have partnership with vendors in our community, and they have hors d'oeuvres. So you can go to the bait shack and listen to live music while you're there, while we're getting ready to actually serve dinner. And then we have, we have dinner. We try to start serving dinner no later than 6 o'clock, 5:45 to 6. We serve the fish.
Well, Rick and I have already kind of organized that because we want to make sure it's hot and fresh.
Hot and fresh.
When they're served.
Yes. And so once dinner is served and we get everybody through the serving lines, not necessarily finished eating, but we try to get everybody served, and then we go to our program, which it kind of consists of the Smyrna Police Department Color Guard, Honor Guard. They have been presenting the colors for us for many years, and they do an awesome job. We have the singing of our national anthem. Neil Owen has been our MC for 20 plus years. I think this is his, either this is his 19th or next year is going to be his 20th. I can't remember, but he's been with us for a very, very long time.
He made me a reverend. I got to say the blessing or bless the meal one year, and he introduced me as Reverend Blake. and I thought, okay, that's as nice a compliment I've ever received.
Yes, but
he cuts up, if not more than he does on. If you ever watch him on the, WKRN Channel 2 in the mornings, he's a cut up with whoever's there, but he's the same way in person. Yeah.
He has a wonderful time. He looks forward to it.
We love
every
having
year,
him.
and we love having him as much as he loves being with us.
Well, when he comes over to the trailer and while we're cooking, and it's a thrill for us.
Yes,
it's quite the compliment.
Yes,
so.
And part of the program, as I said, was walking through that. We have a segment where we honor our honorees, and that's always different each year. We try to change it up and make it a little bit more interesting every year. And one of the things I will mention for this year. President Judy has had a lot of new innovative ideas. So the Fisherman's Club is going to be different. It's going to be located differently. And we will have a live music in the Fisherman's Club, as well as we will have a band this year. It's Laurel Taylor, and she's from Alabama, where President Judy is from. My role as the co-chairman is what I call it. The fish fry is I usually make all the visions come to fruition. That's what I do. I listen to what everybody wants to do, what they want, how we want to do it as a group, and I'm kind of the hands and feet and the organizer. And Eric lovingly called me the general last year, so that puts everything in place. So I say, let's go. We got to do it. We got to make it happen. Yes, but we have some things that are different this year for the fish fry, as far as the Fisherman's Club VIP area, the honorees, and those kinds of things. So we're excited about this year.
And because there's so much traffic, that we do have golf carts that will run people back and forth. So you don't have to walk like you're at a
Right.
at a football game, from the South 40. You do have transportation up to the terminal.
Yes, we do. We have golf carts that will take you from the parking lot all the way up to the terminal. And the radio club this year, they have decided that they wanted to partner with us, so they're taking care of being the drivers for us this year.
Great.
So, but yeah.
We're talking everything Fish Fry today with the Rick and Wayne Show, but listen to Carolyn People. She's vice president of Rotary, Smyrna Rotary this year, and the 22nd annual.
Yes.
Smyrna Fish Fry will be this year on the 21st.
Yes.
That's where I'm getting the 21st from. It's, on September the 21st.
Sure.
But we'll take our second break and be right back with you in just a minute.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
This is Pastor Nikki Ajapong, the lead pastor of Holy Hill Chapel in Murfreesboro.
Here are sermons on WGNS every Sunday night at 7:30.
Our congregation is made up of a variety of nationalities.
Visit holyhillchapeltn.org to hear our podcast.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstireprostn.com.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
Heritage South Community Credit Union is giving back to our community. In August, we will donate $50 to the school or teacher of your choice if you're approved for a loan. Combined with our great loan specials, there's never been a better time to move your loan to Heritage South. Visit our website, heritagesouth.org, to learn more. Remember, at Heritage South, we help when others won't. Only on certain loan types, restrictions apply.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And we've had a great time this morning.
Awesome time.
Talking with President-elect of the Smyrna Rotary Club, Carolyn Peebles, and talking about her Rutherford County and Smyrna history and her leadership in directing the Rotary Club and the upcoming 22nd annual Wings of Freedom Fish Fry. That's almost tongue twister for me, Miss Carolyn.
It is.
And I don't know. I have been there the entire time. I'm trying to remember. I think
since day one.
Since day one.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there. We did it where the terminal is now. That was prior to the terminal, and we laid out a bunch of plyboard sections and brought some individual fryers and just cook right from the get-go, and really didn't, we had since the air show opportunity as far as the fundraiser had ended, we were struggling for something to do, and Paul Lamb and Valerie Reed and I were talking one day and took the Lee Victory fish fry, and since it had ceased with I guess either the passing of Mr. Victory or maybe health, and because the rehearsal party or hangar party, I think they called it, no longer was going to exist, we just kind of put them together and see if they wouldn't work. And I think that first one we made a little over $10,000, and thought
that was a lot.
And we thought, because we'd tried to do luau's at the town center and golf tournaments and stuff like that, and really, had not gotten very much return for a dollar, and but we did that one and got 10,000, and the next one we did a little over 20, and we thought, man, we've got something here. And I was president in 2004, and so I think that 20-something thousand we did that year was probably my year. And the really neat thing, corporate flight management, we moved across, and we had it there, and General Jim Whitmore, classmate from the class of 1972, was our speaker. I don't remember who the honorees were at that time, but he spoke during that time, and we didn't have a really good sound system, and it was just
we've moved up.
We have moved up, and I just am still in awe of looking at that empty hangar at Azure, and thankful for them to allow us to use the hangar, but to see it empty where they moved all the planes out, and then poof,
like voila. But it takes a lot between the wah and the la.
That's exactly right. I was going to say, there's a lot of work into that that goes in.
One of the things I really want to make sure that we touch on is what it takes to put on a fish fry. It takes a lot of manpower, but it also takes a huge amount of partnership. We think, a fish fry, there's lots of moving parts and there's lots of pieces, but we have a large group of what we call in-kind sponsors. And for if you do numbers, in-kind is money, because if they didn't give it to you, you have to pay for it.
Sure.
And last year, I was asked at one of our meetings, Mike Woods actually said, well, Carolyn, how much money do we get from in-kind sponsors? So in doing some research, we get almost $80,000 in in-kind sponsorship. And that means that we don't have to spend that.
Sure.
You spend that money. And people are saying, well, $80,000, what does that mean? It means everything from food. TriStar Stonecrest is our major sponsor when it comes to many elements of food and plates and chicken and all kinds of things that they donate, and then even DWP Live, which is our video and projectionist,
which is going to be amazing.
Which is amazing. They in-kind half of what they would charge us, and that's major too.
Yes, ma'am.
And Taylor Farms, I can't tell you how much they donate and give to us. They sponsor the VIP reception for the platinum and the titanium sponsors. In addition to that, they give money. So, and I know I'm failing to mention many of them, but our in-kind sponsors are major for us, for the gifts that they give us to help us put on that event.
We forgot to mention Bobby Hopkins is running the
online auction,
and there'll be some really neat stuff there too.
Yes, and that's also part of the bottom line of how much we are able to raise. And even to talk about the fish fry and it being a fundraiser, the reason we do it is to give back to the community, to assist our organizations that serve underserved families in our community. And the thing about the fish fry that gives me probably the most reward is the ability that we have to leave a footprint on our community, because that's what Rotary is all about. Sure. You know, when I ride by the Boys and Girls Club, I think about that we didn't actually do the project, but we did a major part of that project. You know, when I drive by the Jeff Coos Memorial, I think about the day that the plane even went down near my house, and then we stepped up and partnered with the town of Smyrna to help make that happen. And next to it is our park, the all-inclusive playground that was a. It
takes my breath away. I love taking my grandchildren to get to play with other children.
Yes.
And you're really missing out if you've not gone and seen that.
Yes.
That whole little area right there. I mean, and at nighttime, it's just amazing. It's beautiful, we took our granddaughter over there, and it's wow.
To have an all-inclusive playground where children with challenges can play with children that do not have challenges.
And adults too.
But the thing that I just love the most about Rotary is our intervention in caring for children. The past president's initiative with the Atlas program, which is for homeless children. And, we feed children. Our partnership with Isaiah 117 for children that DCS removes from unstable environments. I love that we do that we're involved with feeding and caring for children.
And the thing about it is we're as a Rotary Club, we do our best to meet the needs of underserved families in our community, whether it's food, shelter, or clothing. Through we don't necessarily directly give the money, but we give the money to organizations that are providing that service. And many of those come through our grant process. We do have a process where we give the money to our organizations. It's not just we just handpick or whatever.
Sure.
We have a grant process where they can apply, and we go through that process, and we try to fund as much of that as we can through the Wings of Freedom Fish Fry.
And our in-kind. We got so many members that are donating their time to Nurse Food Bank or Meals on Wheels or any of the other programs that out there. And it seems like a lot of times there'll be a short notice and an email go out where there's a hole needing to be filled, and it's filled pretty quickly.
Yes.
I know it makes you. I know you have some stressful moments
trying
to make sure this comes together, but
I love it. I love it. For me, service gives my life significance, and the Rotary Club allows me an opportunity to serve and give back, and it just gives meaning and purpose to my life. So it just does. I can't describe it, what it does, but I feel like that Rotary is just a place for me to give back to my community, where I live and I have raised my children.
Right.
Let's talk about the cruise in a little bit, because I know we said we're going to have one, but kind of the detailed part of that.
Yes, that's a Jerome Dempsey and Mike Woods coordinate that, and Jerome, he's been running around to the cruise ins in the community for the last few weeks. I've been watching his postings and recruiting people to come, and so all they have to do is, we don't have a registration necessarily. They just show up at the gate on the day of the event, and they buy they buy a ticket. Well, actually, a registration, I guess, for the cars, and it gives them 2 people that can come with the car. So
you get 2 tickets and your car inside for $50.
Yes.
And if you got 3 or 4 in the car, the extra tickets would be $50 a piece.
Yes.
Unless they're a juvenile, 5 to.
Unless they're 5 to 16, and it's $25.
5 to 16 and be $25 for that part.
I'm not a car person. I mean, I love my Wrangler, but I was just blown away how large the cruise-in was last year. I'm going.
It was amazing.
Wow. And some of the vehicles were just breathtaking, I guess you could say.
And you know, you don't have to be an adult to enjoy that. And I say it again, my little prince, my grandson, he was amazed at those cars. And you know, of course, they always want to climb in them. They can't do that.
Sure.
But yes, I want to give kudos to Jerome and Mike.
Yep.
They have been doing, I think, coordinating that portion of the fish fry for as long as I can remember. And see, that's the other neat thing about the fish fry is that we have a system in place that we put in place. It's almost like a well-oiled machine, but there are area managers that look over each area of the fish fry, whether it's the food area, the fisherman's club, the cruise-in, the cooks. We have area managers in each area, and so, but it takes one or two people to kind of coordinate the whole group. So I get the opportunity to work with everybody. The hush puppies and the bean guys, and they are amazing. We have homemade hush puppies.
That's right. And we have chicken. We keep saying fish, and it's a fish fry, but we'll have chicken as well. So.
And we have homemade hush puppies and wonderful beans that are homemade. We don't do any canned things.
That's right.
So,
well, God bless you. Your life has been one of service, and thank you for your faith, and thank you for your leadership, and you have brought a smile to the town of Smyrna.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, special thank you to Carolyn Peoples, Vice President of Smyrna Rotary Club. And again, September the 21st, we'll have the Wings of Freedom Fish Fry in Smyrna. It's on Doug Whirlpool Drive in Smyrna. Just follow the signs. You won't be able to miss it.
And we have a website.
Yes, we. The time is 5 till 9.
That's right.
The doors open or gates open at 4. And you can find out just about anything you want on WOFSmyrna.com. You'll be able to see photos. You'll be able to see videos. You can register. And if all else fails, my number and my email address is there. So give me a call.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And you'll thank me later.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Carolyn.
You're welcome.
Everybody, hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week as usual, and have a great week.